Hi and welcome to the best thing you watch. You got Chris from Movies and Munchies, myself, Ruben from the Ruby Tuesday. If my eyeline is bouncing all over the places because I'm in a new location, you can see this is actually my bedroom. So you're getting a little insight. See my little Lego collection, big Lego collection, the few VHSs I have on top of the shelf over there, old Xbox games, some graphic novels, some pictures. There you go, insight into Ruben's world. Let's get into what we're going to be talking about this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Chris, how are you?
I'm good, but see, you didn't give context of why you're in your bedroom. Why are you in your bedroom?
I'm in my bedroom because England doesn't do well with the heat. We are not equipped for heat waves. And because it's like in its mid-30s, in my house it feels like hotter than that. My conservatory, which is turned into our set, is a hot box because it has large windows and it was the extension built on the house. So it just is like an oven. So no, my equipment wouldn't do well there. I wouldn't do well there. I'd be sweating profusely. It would just be ugly to watch. So I'm here actually in what my wife set up where she works. But she has the luxury of putting a background of whatever she wants. I can't do that because I'm the guest on kind of your show, Chris.
We'll just post-production you out there and, just put you on a beach or something.
Put me somewhere really, really weird, like the top of the volcano. That could be fun.
Done. Yeah.
Okay. I guess we'll get started. Who won last week's quiz, Chris?
Nobody won totally,
Nobody.
Which makes me feel good because I struggled through a lot of those those movie quotes. Nostromo got some of them right. So yes, there was. What did we have? We had Young Frankenstein. These are out of order. They Live and Elf, I believe, is the last one.
Cotton-headed Ninny
Muggins. Yeah, there you go.
Ninny Mungus. Yeah, I keep saying it because I hear it like Harry Potter. Ninny Mungus. A mudblood. Anyway, so we've cut it down. Well, I've cut it down because there was a comment that said, this is taking forever, skip 6 minutes. So there's only 3 questions, whether Chris can guess them or not. Let us know in the comments down below if you guess them, and we will mention your wonderful names. Very creative names they are sometimes with your YouTube handles. All right, Chris.
Okay.
I expect you to get all 3 of these.
Oh, geez. See, when you say that, that's just, there's so much pressure there.
So much pressure, just adds on. Okay, so this is still the movie misquote game. So I will do the 2 words, the shortened abbreviation, and if you need a little bit, if you need them more, just say, I need them all. And,
okay.
Then I'll say, you can't have it. And then
I need them all.
Here we go. Sneaky monkey.
Oh, wait. Oh, crap.
You will be very disappointed in yourself if you don't get this one.
See, because
Also, there isn't anything more to the sentence. This is the 2 words they're only giving you.
Does the person, let me just ask this, and sorry if this is a clue to everybody else. Does the person who say this, their real name begin with an R?
I can't remember their first name, so that's not going to happen.
Oh. Well, not the character. They're actually the actor's name. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Oh, poo.
I know them really well. They're quite famous. And you do love this film.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
You think, okay, next one. Yeah. I have to do an accent for this one.
I love it.
Okay. Number 4. This is so funny. Number 4 prostitute in all of Kazakhstan. Okay,
I'm going to guess at what that one is, but
I'll do the full one.
Okay.
She's my sister. She is number 4 prostitute in all of Kazakhstan.
I don't think I've actually. If it's the movie I think it is, I haven't even seen it, but I think I know what it is.
You need to watch it. You will laugh your head off. It's terrible, but also cringy and also funny. Okay, third one. Idiot sisters?
Oh, what's the full quote?
Okay. Why? Why was I cursed with such idiot sisters?
Oh, I think I know what that one is. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Nice. Nice. All right. So as Ruben said, let us know in the comments if you know all these, if you get them, and we will give you the shout out. If we can, I have a question.
Okay. We can.
Oh, we can. Well, it's our show. So, I mean, right. Okay. So would you rather live in the world of The Matrix or Inception?
Would I rather live in the world of The Matrix or Inception? Okay, that's a tricky. So Inception has the ability to input an idea into someone's mind and change the outcome of that. But are you asking me whether I would like to do... No, Matrix. Yeah, it's just Matrix.
Yeah. And now,
yeah, and I'd like to stay in the Matrix.
Okay, where you can, where your
Ignorance
brain tells you
bliss.
that that's steak. Yeah.
Yeah. Ignorance is bliss. Don't take me to where there's no food and there's. Yeah, I'm happy to be a battery as long as I don't know that I'm a battery.
True. Well, and the food that then they eat on the ship, that's disgusting. I mean, it looks like nasty oatmeal or something.
It's like, what is this? Is it chicken or is it oatmeal? It's like, well, what is chicken? What does oatmeal taste like? Is it your brain? And they'll go through the whole first. I don't care. I know what chicken tastes like and what oatmeal tastes like. It's not the same.
Yeah, no. And if chicken appears like oatmeal, I'm sending it back. There's something desperately wrong with that.
But also, I would love to play in the Matrix mainframe, like not in the real world, but like download the ability to ride a motorcycle just at expert level. I know Kung Fu, all of those things. Yeah, he's beginning to believe, fly around, have basically any superpower ever, but experience it for real. Yeah, the Matrix for sure.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I would love the world of Inception, as long as it's not Limbo, I guess. I don't want to be, because Limbo seemed very lonely. Whereas
what in the world of Inception are you enjoying there?
The ability to create instantly, to reimagine, cool. to just like as they're walking. You have to kind of be an architect, don't you? Well, I mean, in one point maybe, but I think also if you just imagine it, like, as they're walking, as Cobb and I can't remember the other character's name, but as they're walking and it becomes like a mirror, and then it's a doorway, and just that type of thing seems really cool. Where if I can think it, it can become. And
I think my imagination would get out of hand though. I would think things I don't want to think about. Remember that one nightmare that you had that gave you palpitations for 3 nights in a row? And then, and I'm like, great.
Yeah, I guess if you could never wake up too, that would be the worst part. From like one of those nightmares or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure I like either option awesomely. You know what I mean? Like, there's great things
when you come out if the spinning top is still spinning.
Well, see, now there's the discussion to have at some point. I'll rewatch, and then we need to have this discussion. I don't care what Christopher Nolan says. I don't care what anybody else says. You and I can have that discussion and hash it out. We can have that discussion and talk about it. Yeah. We're not allowed to talk about it in my house anymore.
Because we can have that conversation. That'll be fun.
Yeah, because my sons and I go back and forth. It's passionate. It's not angry, but it is funny. And my wife is like, no more, shut up, stop.
But he's definitely in, it's still in.
Still dreaming.
He's not out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm there. I'm there. Yeah. He didn't get out for so many reasons.
Yes. So, okay. Well, there you go. Let us know where would you rather live, in the world of The Matrix or in the world of Inception? Maybe why? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear it. Should we dive into some of the best things that we watched this week?
Let's do it.
Cool. You want to go first?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, this movie surprised me this week. And it's funny, too, because as I was jotting down my thoughts and just really thinking through the movie, it's called Heartsong on Netflix. It's a Turkish movie about gypsies. And I have no idea really what year it is. They have cars-ish, so it's at least in the 80s, but it could be because we only get this encapsulated look at an isolated society out in the middle of like the mountains and stuff.
Okay.
It could be modern day. It could be in the early 80s. I don't really know. But it's very musical. And the whole premise is this guy who's a musician goes to play a wedding. And on his way there, he's singing a tune and he hears a woman that he sees through this window. She's singing the exact same tune. But it's not like a song or anything like that. It's just it's a tune that they both hear in their hearts and in their heads. And it becomes an instant connection for them. Turns out the girl's the bride getting married at the wedding that the dude is playing at. Yeah. So, problems ensue. Now, the reason this surprised me is I'm going through it and I'm just like, the younger couple's version or story is only in pieces. Like we watch this love story kind of play out and them together. But then the story shifts back and forth to put focus on the guy's dad, who is pining after a love that he never got. And so he's obsessed with trying to find this woman to go visit her, that she was really the true love of his life. And when I finished the movie, I was like, well, that was kind of lackluster. I mean, it was weird because we started the movie with this kind of premise, but it ended up over here. And the more I thought about it and the more I talked about it, it was like, oh, no, wait a minute. There is a circularity. I don't even know if that's a word, but it's going to be a word.
It's a good word.
Yeah, to the relationships. So you see this father, you hear his story. We don't see the beginning of his story. We only see him pining after the love that he didn't get. And then we have the couple where it's basically forbidden love because she's from a different village. She's supposed to be getting married to somebody else, and she has this instant connection with this guy who also is like madly in love with her. And so you see, which it becomes like their relationship is the beginning, but it's different because they took the risk that the father didn't take or didn't grab that opportunity to have with the love of his life. And so it was the way that it all worked together. Like as I was talking, it was just like, oh my gosh, okay, I really love this movie now. Whereas before I started, I didn't as much. The music is really catchy, especially when they do this song that they both have. I mean, it's the music is sparse too. Like it's like a fiddle and maybe some drums or something, maybe a guitar, but it's driving and it just gets in your head. They do some unique shots with it. The cinematography I thought was beautiful. It's called Heartsong.
Heartsong.
And Turkish. It just came out on Netflix this week. And I've watched several Turkish shows and a couple of movies over the last couple of years. And so when I saw another one was coming, I was like, oh, well, I've been enjoying these. So let me check it out. And no, it was a good surprise. Yeah,
especially it's quite short as well. It doesn't outstay its welcome by the looks of it.
No, it doesn't. I think if you go in understanding that there's the cyclical nature of the relationships within this, but we don't see a full cycle of any of the relationships. If you understand that and then know that it's not just your typical rom-com, that it has a different flair and stuff like that. I loved it. So
the cinematography looks interesting. I was just letting the Netflix kind of reel they do for these shows, and it has wide open vistas, interesting costume design, which I guess is for the specific to the culture, and yeah, it looks like it gives you the presence necessary for where it's set. So places you like kind of in that zone of where you want to be. How long did
Yeah.
it take you to like lose yourself to it?
Well, it was really like I was instantly enamored with the songs.
Okay.
And even the characters, because they're quirky, and it's a totally different society and culture. I mean, this is a very collective society where it is not about the individual at all. I mean, while individuals have their dreams and their loves and their longings and all of this. I mean, there's group decisions and there's group, like they do things as groups. And so that adds some humor to it. And there's miscommunications, and it's really funny to watch then two different cultures within this movie kind of discuss back and forth and miss things and everything else. But honestly, it didn't click for me as much until after I had watched it and after I had given it some thought. And that's when it really it went from being a movie where I was like, it was okay. I was just kind of disappointed with how things ended because, I'm shown that it's this movie about this young couple, and yet the focus shifts. And that's where my disappointment kind of lie. But then once thinking about it more, it's like, well, no, it was, I still got that. And if I think, I get to see the rest of it and how it can play out because they've taken the chance, and
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at it and I often judge books by their cover as I do films, and I thought that doesn't look like my cup of tea. But it actually sounds like it's quite a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I reviewed all 4 seasons of Netflix's Turkish series that was like superhero, and that progressively got worse. The Protector.
The Protector.
Yeah. So it was a really interesting premise, and then it just it lost its way. So now when I see Turkish stuff, I normally go, but you've had the opposite. You've obviously found some good stuff.
I have, yeah. And there's been some that have been disappointing, like Atiye, which is another Netflix series, or at least a series that they grabbed that came to Netflix. And it starts off kind of mind blowing. Maybe like little flares of the OA.
Sign me up. Yeah.
Yeah. But it kind of falls apart as it goes along. Like it loses its focus and loses the plot somewhat. And I finished it out because I was hopeful that they were going to bring it around, and they kind of do, but then kind of don't also. And so it's like,
okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Can I move on?
Oh yeah, please do.
Cool. So I mentioned to you there was this film that I watched this week that I didn't know was going to be as good as it is. I'm not sure it's a Netflix original, although it's as a Netflix trailer, and they're promoting it. So whatever, they bought this film. It was created in South Africa, so that's kind of my homeland. So I was a little bit kind of predisposed to liking some of it anyway, because I was like,
sure,
I've been there, I've seen that, I know that, I understand the culture. So that all was fine for me. However, it's called Office Invasion. 3 best friends band together to defend their valuable mining company from monstrous aliens looking to plunder and exterminate. And if you think that sounds cheesy and cringy, it is. It's totally does what it sets out to do on the tin or the synopsis. I was trying to explain it to you how I could compare it to, and I went IT Crowd, World's End from the Cornetto trilogy, and then you give it some of that dry South African humor, but that's also off the wall sometimes that I think will be cultural specific. If you've watched some really bad, cheesy South African films, there's some of that humor in it. If you watch, what did we discuss? So I know there's Hollywood and there's Bollywood, Nollywood.
No, yeah, from Nigeria.
Yeah, from Nigeria. There's moments where please don't go down that route. There's moments that it teeters on that line. However, it's the 3 friends that come together. One's a security guard, one's the actual engineer from one of the original guys that started the company, basically, and then there's an Indian guy who
He's an
has
accountant, right?
yeah, I think so. Or is he? I don't know what he is, but he has to work there for 5 years. And man, I just loved the banter between the three. It could have just been them sitting in the office doing IT crowd stuff, and I would have loved them. Their humor, the way the lines were delivered, the dialogue, all of that was great. And partly because you have that, the dry comedian banter that is quite cheeky, mixed in with this African banter, but also that this is with one guy. He is definitely South African, but he has an American tinge to him. It seems like the schooling, his English is just much better, and there's a different slight accent on that to the other ones. Of course, there's like so many national African languages that there's going to be a really complex culture within that. So you have the three, and then you have the weird storyline of the alien stuff that's going on, and that only really happens like the last 20 minutes of the film. It all builds up to why they're going through the decisions that they make. There's a little bit of a real heart story in there. The one guy who kind of has built the company up, his daughter has got a really bad skin condition. Like it's like for her health, she could be like seriously damaged if she doesn't get this medication. And now the company that is being bought, they no longer want to do healthcare. So there's all these things that you're like, okay, you're rooting for them. It spends a good amount of time. And then you get these three caricatures that are the people that are taking over the company. One's a Russian lady with like the worst Russian accent. Like she has a Russian accent, but you feel like she's putting it on. Yes. One is this South African dude that you feel like he's, the boss in the IT crowd that just is so cringe. It's like him, and his wig is hilarious. Like from the outset, it's like they can't be serious with that guy's hair, right? That's definitely a wig, like 100%. Have you ever watched like news reports with Trump on? No, sorry, I won't go there. And then there is this Jamaican, Haitian, Bayesian mix of an accent, and you're like, this is really heavy-handed. Why are you doing that? So it can get to the point where you're like, I'm not buying those three. It's so cringy until they explain why, and they're like, okay, it's fine. As long as there's a reason for your silliness and it makes sense within the storyline, I'm with you. I wouldn't say that the CG is like great. It's not. It's okay. And there are parts of it I was like, okay. And I see where they cut corners in some of it, but for the most part, the story is fun. You're rooting for the guys, and when you get to the end, it leaves you wanting more. And that I was like, I needed it because I'd watched something that I was like, I hear everybody's saying this is great, but I'm not seeing what they're saying. And so I keep telling everybody now, put this on your list. This is really fun. Yeah.
So let me ask you, at what point does the trio really start to get together? Because I started this movie.
Yeah, no, they're pretty much there from the beginning. That just showcases their life at the beginning, like individuals.
Yeah.
But once they sit down at lunch and they start discussing what's happening around the office, and that's kind of when the plan starts to formulate.
Okay. So I turned it off right about there then.
No, you turned it off, Chris.
Yeah, I did. And it wasn't like it. There were parts of it. It's cringy funny. I mean, the woman, I don't even know who she is, HR maybe, talking to the security guards and giving just like the worst motivational speech ever. I'm trying to spin.
A beat down.
Yeah, just you're trying to spin. You're handing them absolute crap. And you're trying to tell them that it's outstanding, but you can't even do that convincing. So I appreciated a lot of that, and the boss is just, he's over the top in the best way. I mean, he's ridiculous. His daughter is just like off the chart stupid, and just vapid. And
there was this one bit where a bit of her anatomy is kind of present. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is too much. So I can see it in ways of like parodying America in different ways. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, we do that. Hey, look, we put those people on TV. Look at that, and we tout them around as those are important people.
Yeah, what was happening, and then maybe it was my mindset or whatever. It was just like, because the movie starts off in a ridiculous sense with what I assume to be an alien invasion or something like that. I don't know why a Russian accented person is in this place. Whatever. You're right, the CG, it's terrible, but I didn't care. Like, I was like, oh, okay, this is the type of movie we're in for. I'm here. This is fine, and then it shifts gears right off of that. From, it gives us a tease, and then it takes like for I don't know.
It takes quite a while. Yeah.
I was like, I was about 35 minutes in, I think, and I was just like, I don't know where we're going with this, and I don't know.
You need to give it just a little bit more time.
Okay.
And I
okay.
think
Well, I'll go back and revisit it, because I mean, I liked the characters. That was the thing. Like, it was, and you're right. It's that subtle commentary, or it's not commentary. Dang it! I keep saying that word. It's subtle comedy, where they have these. I mean, it's witty and it's a bit sarcastic, and it has, like, the timing that they have is great, because it's dry, and they wait for it, and then boom. Okay, there you go. Right when you. So, yeah. Okay. I'll go back and give it another shot.
Yeah, but you switched it off. I can't believe it.
I know. Yeah. It yeah,
Funny. Okay. What's next on your list?
Well, okay. So this is, I'm going to talk vaguely about the entire series, even though only the first 3 episodes have come out. I mean, it won't end until...
I'm glad you're talking about this. Great.
Oh, good. Is this on your list too?
No, but I went back and watched. I had to watch the last 2 episodes because I was like, I don't remember most of this, and I gathered you were going to talk about it. So,
okay. Well, I hope we're talking about the same one, but it's Apple's 5 Days at Memorial.
No, we're not.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe there's another one that I'm gonna talk about, and
Hilarious. Okay.
I've saved it to the end because it is like riveting. But
okay,
5 Days at Memorial is a new series that just came out. It's a mini series on Apple, and it takes place. It looks at the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina in the early 2000s, and it's less about actually Katrina and more about what happens when the levees break and the flooding happens to the city. And then we look inside a hospital, and where outside of the hospital, we have an absolute breakdown of everything possible. I mean, communication services, electricity, government aid, response. I mean, anything and everything, it goes out the window and it fails. And so then you take it within the hospital and it becomes a microcosm of what's happening on the larger scale around the city. And we watch this play out. And the first 5 episodes are about the first of the 5 days that occur. The last 3 episodes are then taking a look back at what happened from a different point of view. And it's harrowing at points. And it's like, I couldn't, at least the first 5 episodes, I couldn't get to the next episode fast enough.
Wow.
Because it was just, you feel the mounting pressure and the desperation that everybody's going through, because it's absolutely kind of like you right now. I mean, it's really hot and humid. There's no air conditioning. Well, there's no electricity. There's no communication. They're cut off from basically everything. Mounting like disease and these people, these doctors are trying to care for patients, some of them in critical condition, and they don't have any of the means
the means to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got to say, so I love miniseries because they're encapsulated and they have a finite
you get the story and it's
there.
Done. Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't mind when the story is really riveting, these week to week types of things. Luckily, 5 Days at Memorial is very captivating. The episodes are like an hour long each. So that's really good also. So you feel like your time is worth it to invest in this. Episode 5 is devastating. I mean, it is like just terrible and awesome to watch all at the exact same time. I mean, there's so many different emotional levels that you see within this and through a lot of the characters.
Did you cry, Chris? Did you have a
No,
massive gulp?
but I felt it though. You know, this one didn't really elicit tears, but it was moving. So it was, and I was like, oh gosh, and I would hate to have been in these positions.
Right.
You know, the last 3 episodes have a different feel to the first 5. It's so I had talked about it, like it's almost 2 different series because the pacing changes, the not in a bad way. So I'm not saying that, it's just different. And the pace is slower also. So the last 3 episodes feel longer than the first 5, which is a little different. But the questions that it raises too. I mean, you're frustrated through the whole thing at just the outcomes and what's happening to people, the circumstances. But then it raises like a lot of ethical questions within this, you know. And it's easy to look at this from an outside perspective and armchair quarterback it with 2020 hindsight vision to be going like, well, no, we should have done this. But see,
you don't know in the moment. You don't know.
No, well, and even now though, like if I look at the situation that happened, and you take away knowing that that it could get better. Like if you take away that, you know what I mean? Like if you're stuck in a dire situation where everything kind of seems hopeless, what do you do? And then how do you care for people who are terminal or, you know, very, so it's just, I like that it's not cut and dry. Like it seems cut and dry, but if you really go into it and you have that discussion, that devil's advocate back and forth, I think there's enough questions it raised where you could have an internal battle there. Even if from a gut standpoint, you're like, well, no, I would never do that. Or yes, I would totally do that because that seems like the right thing. So
yeah. Yeah, I didn't continue watching this. I started, it was too heavy for me. I hate unjust stuff. There's sometimes I can't handle this stuff. I could see where it was going as well, like because it starts with like the court case, right? And then you kind of go backwards into how it happened, and you experience it, and you're like, yeah, I can see they're going to be blamed. There's going to be stuff that they did in the moment that is probably unethical. But I was thinking to myself, if I'm a doctor and I've taken the oath and I've got 80 patients that I need to look after and all my medications are running out and they're all in incredible pain and they've got like limbs probably rotting, you know, just a cornucopia of stuff that's going wrong. Yeah. What do you do? What decisions do you make, and how do you make those? And how do you got to live with yourself making those decisions? And then you get people afterwards saying, you should have done this, you should have done that, and now you're going to pay those consequences. And you're like, damn, it's not black and white, it's gray. Like it's just gray. But also I didn't find it as riveting as you. So maybe I was just in an interesting mood that day. I'll have to go back and see, because I was like, I'm kind of bored. So yeah.
How many episodes did you get through? Did you watch all 3?
I didn't get through one, Chris.
Oh, okay. Okay. It I got to say the CG at the beginning is a little rough too. So don't let that break you out of it.
Because we did get like really early screeners. So
yeah,
could have been that.
Yeah, the storm portion of that, where you see it from the outside and stuff like that. Some of that is like, that's not really up to the Apple quality that I've come to expect. But after that, when they do some CG of like flooding and different things like that, it's pretty convincing looking. And so
water dramas tend to have a real emotional. There's like, if you think about stuff that's to do with the water, like Titanic, there's like a real emotionality there because people drowning or them trying to say it's like the body of water, especially if it's the ocean or some, you know, mother nature that's uncontrollable, and then you put people in that, and it's like we're helpless, which I think is it's a very interesting way to go. There was one with Naomi Watts when there was the
tsunami, right?
Yeah, tsunami, and I think that's Tom Holland's. Like he's one of the kids, and there was just a devastating moment with her and the kids. And I have ever since then I've been very wary of watching like anything with like water. And so this was on. I was like, oh, Can I handle this right now? I don't know. But it sounds like I need to go back because it sounds like it's really good.
It's definitely, it is worth seeing, especially when now I had the luxury of binging the whole thing back to back. So I think this is one where maybe you wait, like if you really want you can carve out the time, wait till episode 5 drops. Watch episodes 1 through 5 all at once, because then you have the events, and then wait a couple weeks and watch the last 3 episodes that
I was
take a
going to
look
ask
back.
because if you had to wait between each episode, considering how riveting you thought it was, would that have marred or changed your enjoyment or emotional ride with it? Because you've waited a week, you've probably downgraded some of that ride, and then it kind of reminds you, but you're back in it. And that one episode is great. It's an hour, you're in it, and then you're waiting a week again.
Yeah, it would probably take me a few minutes to get back into the feel of the series again, and that's I think it would wane a little bit because I didn't have the opportunity to binge it. I do think it's great that Apple released the first 3 episodes, because that really puts you into the crux of of the desperation and just the devastation that's going on. Yeah. So, all right. What else is on your list?
Okay, see if you can guess.
Nope.
Nope. I can't guess it. Nope. I finally got to watch Nope.
Nice.
It's taken so long to come out in the UK, and after our beach day, I tried to convince my wife. She was having none of it. She said nope, and
I almost spit coffee out my nose.
And in I went, and there was only like 10 people in the cinema, but considering we're having a heat wave, the aircon was on, so I was like in a land of bliss, and I was just like, hey, even if the film is crap, like, this is fine. I can spend 2 hours here in the coolness. Thankfully, it wasn't. And I'd seen the trailers, I'd seen the clips, even though you'd managed to keep away from most of them. And I've we've spoken about it on this already without doing spoilers. I'm going to tell my wife, make sure you put the volume up. Has she gone here? Cool. Because I want to watch it again, but I think we can probably talk spoilers this time around, Chris, because it's been out for a few days here, and we can do like chapter markers and stuff.
Yeah, we'll put a spoiler warning on this. Yeah.
But for now, my experience of Nope. It's not what I expected it to be.
Is that a good or a bad?
It's different. No, fantastic, because the trailer makes it out to be one thing, which is disappointing. I wish they hadn't even shown that bit in the trailer. I think I remember you talking about your wife, and she's like, man. But when I got to it, I thought it was fantastic. It's also a very different movie to Get Out and Us. Okay. It's also not very scary at all. I didn't think it was scary. Like, compared to the tenseness and the thrillerness of Us or Get Out, the emotional psychological turmoil that you get out in Us, Ding, ding. I love the monkey paw logo that is there. Isn't that great? Now. Yeah, fantastic. Cool. However, it is. I think it's fascinating. I came out of the film. It's like, this film is fascinating because it makes you think. I've never thought about it in that way, but that would make so much sense. That's how my brain was, stewing along the movie. And also, actually, a lot smaller movie than I thought it was going to be. The cast is actually small. There's very few people involved in it, especially at one point. There's a lot less people involved in it.
You're all fired. We've figured out a way.
But I thought Daniel Kaluuya, he played it so soft and reserved. His character, it's like he found it difficult to talk. It was like those moments, like his sister's opposite of him, loud, vibrant, full of life and energy, and he is like the thinker. He's thinking. He's like, I got to go work. I got to run the farm. If nobody knows what, that have no idea about Nope is, I don't want to really spoil it for you, except this family on a farm experienced something weird.
Yeah.
that is the best synopsis I can do without spoiling. I think maybe we should talk about spoilers and just let people know we're going to talk spoilers now,
so we can
Chris,
actually dive into it. Yes,
we can dive in. Chris,
yes,
no spoilers. You've been waiting a long time for this.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I got to say, like, I'm so glad that I didn't see any of the trailers other than that first teaser, because I didn't know it was like an alien, like, or a ship,
Right.
Before we understand what it is.
Yeah.
I had my suspicions,
but
I didn't know it. And so I loved that going into this, like being like when you first see, when he's looking up at night and you see it dart between the clouds, I was like,
just this. What the frick is that?
I was
so
like,
wish they hadn't shown that. Why did they show that in the trailers?
Well, and the one where it comes down after him as he's riding the horse, seriously? That's like a money shot. Don't give that away, know? And so it was, I loved the discussion on spectacle, that of turning something into a spectacle and then that turning it back on you because of you cannot control it. You're trying to manipulate something that is uncontrollable, that you have no business doing that. And I just, I was blown away. I've seen it twice now and loved it both times. You're right. I don't think that it's scary. I thought it was intense.
Although,
yeah,
the ape scene, I think is the scariest in the whole film. It's harrowing. It's
brutal, right?
It's so brutal, and you feel for the ape as well. The ape is just reacting to a loud noise and protecting itself, and and you see it calmed down and was doing that knuckle,
fist bump,
because that's how they communicate. That's one of because they're so prone to learning language through their hands, their paws, and that moment, and then bam, I was just like, no. I knew it was going to end like that, but I still didn't want it. I kind of like, maybe a little bit sorry for the humans, but what did you expect? This is a wild animal. I'm always on the animal side. That scene was devastating.
Yeah, no, it was fun. Did you love Angel?
Who's Angel?
Brandon Perea, the Fry's tech guy.
Oh, he was amazing. Absolutely brilliant. I wanted more of him.
Doesn't he steal the show? I mean, he steals his scenes like just.
I wanted more of him. Yeah, he was great. I was so glad when he was watching the feed. I was like, yay! Okay, because he was like, oh, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. It's like, no, don't let that. He's a really cool character. Yeah, immediately fell in love with that character. Yeah.
Because he's like all of a sudden bearing his soul. He's unpacking the van and he's like, yeah, my girlfriend, we just broke up, and she's trying. She's got on a pilot.
It was so human. It was like I've encountered this conversation. I know people like this. It was so real.
Yeah. Oh gosh. No, I think it was really well done. I mean, I loved also the as we get to the finale before the Akira slide, where Kiki Palmer's Emerald is on the motorcycle and she's racing away from the being, and you have this Western type of theme, but it's also
the score just comes in so good. Yeah.
Didn't you feel like intensity just building as this is?
Like I was like watching a Western. It was basically a Western in that moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. It was, no, I had a lot of fun with it. I loved the messaging within there. I think there's a lot of layers to it.
For sure. I don't know if I'm placing attributes on the film, but there were moments that stuck out to me that I thought, does that mean something else? Like, what's going on? Like, for example, the ape scene, the shoe that stands on end, that just balances like that. Like, what is going on there? And then later on, we see that kid is growing up. He's taken that stuff he tells a story, but it obviously isn't telling the real story, because we don't get at one point that he was actually the kid. And so you see the shoe, but there's these moments where characters are drawn to something and they they stand and watch, they look at something. I'm like, what is that about? It seems to be the reflection, like what you were mentioning earlier. It reflects back at oneself, looking at it. Don't make me do that. The horse was scared of the reflection, all about the eye, the gaze. You could do, I mean, I did an essay in my degree in television and film production on the male gaze, Gaze. And, there's a whole world when they, just about the eye of the beholder. And this whole film really is that, because the creature is I. It's just like, don't look at me. Yeah. What do you think those moments meant?
Okay, so like the shoe part, I didn't know how to answer that. A lot of people in my comments had said it's kind of like waiting for the shoe to drop, or waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
And I was like, right? I was like, ding, 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 ding. I don't know if that's right, but that is like the best explanation that I can give, because we see the beginning, and Jupe, Ricky, he doesn't learn his lesson with Gordy the chimp. He, made that the show made Gordy the spectacle, cannot be controlled. And, so the natural outcome, the consequence of making something a spectacle is that it can react and it can destroy. And so then you see Ricky as the adult is now trying to make, not learning his lesson, trying to make the alien the spectacle. And he does make it a spectacle. And the whole not looking, there was a couple of levels to that I took away from it. One is, like you said, like the horse not looking it in the eye because it's like it perceives it as a threat. Okay. And so like that's why the horse reacts when the mirror looks at it. Even Daniel Kaluuya's character tells them, don't look it in the eye, and so then you have Stephen Ewan's Ricky looking up at it. And so he's not looking away from it, therefore becoming the spectacle and then reaping what that brings about. Yeah. So when he was with Gordy, his eyes are shielded. I at first I thought he had looked away. I was wrong. He has it shielded there. So he's not looking directly in his eyes, like unguarded. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Looking through.
Exactly. Like when OJ puts the mask over the horse can still see out. Yeah. But looking in, it can't see exactly where his eyes are looking. You know what I mean? And so it shields that in that way. Well, Ricky doesn't learn his lesson, and then, as I said, reaps that. You also have, though, there is a moment where I think there's more than one, but OJ starts to look up and then looks down, and the way he does it is very reminiscent of a way that it conveys the idea of how a slave would have to shield their eyes, defer their gaze from their master, from their oppressor there. And so I saw it also as that, where it's still a sign of aggression. You know what I mean? So if a slave looks at their oppressor in the eye, then no, we cannot have that, and I'm going to do bad things to you. I might even kill you. And so you have like that constantly there. And even like I liked that Brandon Perea's character, he starts to look up, and then he gets just like the other filmmaker, as he's doing it, he's watching it and he's like drawn into it, but then he gets thrown down the mountain, trapped up all into the tarp and stuff. And then once he realizes that, oh crap, I need to not look. I'm drawn to look, but I need to not. He does get spared, even though he almost gets sucked up just because the little fly dude, is looking up on the ground there.
The filmmaker that they got to come and get the Oprah shot.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have the deepest voice in the world?
Well, you know who he is, right?
Well, I know him from The Crow.
Yeah, exactly. And Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah, and Prince of Thieves. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad that we get to see him again doing something that's not like that, It was But yeah, he has such the great voice.
My goodness. Yeah. I was kind of gutted he died. I wanted to see the film.
Well, and you see at one point, the alien spits out his film, and you see the canister open and the rolling down, and so it's like gone.
Exposed
Whatever he
to light.
had,
Yeah.
it's gone. And it's like, dang it.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved the bit where he was shouting at the other character to swap over the film reels, because he's so like, where's the film? It's like, do you know how long it takes in the darkness to change over new film reels, especially the amount that he was getting in that can, in amongst while you've been hunted by an alien predator. And it's like, where is it? I'm like, dude, you gotta chill. That takes ages.
Okay, one of my favorite scenes, at least like one of the first ones that really made me laugh, was the in the stables where where OJ goes out and like the sprinkler's going and the lights are on and he turns it out and he walks away and then it turns back on again, and he's like, and you see that thing there, and I mean, talk about perfect timing. Where it just starts to stand up, and he goes, nope.
He's like, nope. That was creepy. I was chilling. I was like, oh, they're just showing it. And then another one comes out the side with its head like this. I was like, okay, dude, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
I was like, I felt like I was, like I had been gagged. Like it was like a joke on me. Haha, they're not really aliens. Haha.
Brilliant, right?
Yeah.
Because it just turned it on its head. Yeah, it's and I mean, going back to where we started, where the trailer gives you an impression of the movie that it's going to be.
Yeah,
and it turns out to be so much more.
Yeah,
and I think, which we've talked about this before, but that's the danger a lot of the time that we see is these trailers. They set audiences up for a disappointment. Because they market it in one way, and yet that's not really what the heart of the movie is.
I mean, the Viking movie we had this year was
Northman. Yeah,
Northman was a clear example of that.
Absolutely, a brilliant movie, right? Yeah. But when you tell audiences it's going to be A and it's not, I mean, of course they're going to come out and they're going to complain about it because
that's to be unhappy because they went in thinking, Netflix's Vikings action fest, but with a bigger budget and great AAA stars. Yeah. No, you do get action, but it's not that. Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, so I love the creature design. When we eventually get to see it, when it's actually, and it's like a floaty squid in the air, like it's the best I can think of analogy. Floaty alien squid.
Yeah.
There was a moment in me that I thought the praying mantis had been sent by the predator to stop them. I didn't know where it was going to go because, like, what are the chances of that actually? And then when he says, "Haven't seen one of those in a minute," I was like, "Yeah, see, I'm right." But
and it flies off at
the
end.
Yeah, it flies away in that moment. It's like, come on, that's too much of a coincidence. But it wasn't. It was a MacGuffin.
Yeah, I loved how how Brandon Pereira's character is like, there's something on the camera, get it off.
Get up.
He totally outs himself there as watching.
He does. Yeah. He's so riveted by what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. I did think they paid homage to the Shining blood scene with the elevator and the blood coming out. When we get that with the house and the steps coming down, it was gross, but I just thought it was spectacularly done. It was so visual.
Yeah. There's a wheelchair on your house.
Oh, we haven't spoken about the sound design. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Never mind the score,
right?
But the sound design, flipping heck. I was just like, yep. Quiet. And then screaming, like child and woman screaming. It obviously had learned about its prey and recorded that, and because some animals do that on Earth.
I I took it that it wasn't mimicking, that you're hearing them still being alive. Like they're
it's
being
possible.
killed as it goes. I don't know. Either way, though.
Maybe
it's
they're
like,
slowly digested and they're still screaming. Yeah, that is also a possibility. Yeah, just really, really fun, interesting, different. I love different, and it was different. Yeah.
Where do you think where does that fall in the Jordan Peele?
Yeah, I was thinking about this
trilogy?
yesterday. It's impossible because I want to watch it again, but I don't know how often I can rewatch it compared to Get Out. I think I could probably watch more. Us, I think Us has a gimmick that's done. So I've enjoyed it, but I don't know if I'll watch that too soon again. Once I know what the thing is at the end.
Sure.
Yeah. However, I think the story for Nope is the best. I think the story is the most interesting, the most different. Yeah, it's incredibly hard because they're all different genres almost.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. No, and I like that. I like that that he, some people were calling him like a one-trick pony, and I'm like, no, actually
Like,
not.
what are you seeing? This is different. Yeah.
Yeah, this is wildly different, and it's See, I think Nope for me is probably the most rewatchable one.
Okay.
Like I love Get Out. It's horrifying and disturbing. Just to like, oh gosh, that people are acting this way still.
Was that Kahlua again?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Us is probably my not my least favorite, but I would put that as probably the least rewatchable one. Like you.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's none of these are bad.
No. Yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, exactly. I think you have to work really hard though for some of the messaging within Us. Which is not a bad thing either. I mean, I love movies that make me think or make me, have to work a bit for this. But it's just, I do believe that like, it's not just laid out. Like, even some of the other concepts are just like, they're not surface level, even if there's deeper stuff, But,
yeah. Nice.
Cool.
So what's next on your list?
Okay. So the one that you thought I was talking about, it ended last week. And holy crap. Paul Walter Hauser needs to be handed all of the awards right now. Blackbird on Apple, another limited series. Whoa.
See, I told you Apple's the best streaming service. See?
They are consistently just churning out amazing content. And this one, like, I didn't get screeners for it, so I purposely waited until the end so that I could binge it all at once.
It was a good decision.
Dude. Okay. So all of the characters I enjoyed. Like Ray Liotta was phenomenal. I mean, he's still that understated. He has that infectious laugh that is his laugh that I'm glad that they captured that. Greg Kinnear and the actress with him playing the FBI agent and him the detective. I liked them. Thought they both brought some good things.
I actually would have liked more of them together, I think.
I could have used that. Like they worked well together because they were also a little different, and the tension that came there, of him knowing that no, this is how it is, and this is the truth, and her having some doubt instilled, and to be like, I'm not really sure, and that tension, between them. Taron Egerton, I thought he was awesome. Like watching him.
I think this is his best performance. I do.
Him getting rid of his accent was whoa. I mean, that was he was great. And there are some moments in there where you watch the weight of what he's doing devastate him. You know, especially as we get towards the end.
I bought it 100%. I felt it.
Totally. When he learns things and then has to internalize them. And you watch this guy that the transformation that character makes too, from beginning to end of absolutely cocky, and just arrogant and full of himself, basically, to somebody who is completely not that way. They have been broken in a way that I hope he got counseling, but then also, just he learned some things and matured so much. Like I loved watching that.
Do you remember Mindhunter, right?
Yeah.
And you have the most intense scenes, two people sitting across each other on a table. Like, nothing else is happening, but it's just two people talking. In this series, the most tense scenes are just two people talking. Now, if you don't know what we're talking about, Blackbird, it's about a guy that goes to jail for stuff that he's done in the wrong. He's been a bit of a bad boy. You can pick the real story up as you watch it. And then he makes a deal with the FBI because he's a little bit of he's got a silver tongue and everybody kind of likes him. He can make anybody like him. So he goes to maximum security prison for where they hold the worst of the worst. And they need the locations or the truth, the real story from this one person in prison, and he's got to befriend this guy. And so he has this guy that's been out in the world, living his best life, now finds himself, Taron Egerton finds himself in the worst of the worst, from the guards who are despicable to the inmates who are despicable. And man alive, there was this scene, without doing spoilers, when he's sitting on the table to the guy he's trying to get the information out of, who he's befriended, and you'll know the one I'm talking about, and he's whittling away, I think, at like birds or something, and he kind of recounts stuff that he's been going on this journey. The realization on Taron's face from complete horror is shown on his face. Then to hide that, to still to enjoy what he's hearing and the horror of what he's hearing. So he's got to pretend that he's enjoying, but what he's hearing is so horrific. The realization of the stories and stuff and what it means and the implications, and that this person, if he doesn't get the information, might get out and be out there in the world again. Incredible scene,
dude.
And in a really high, and then
my
I went
gosh.
on
Yeah. Paul Walter Hauser. So here's the thing. Like, he's kind of the same character, or at least the delivery in a lot of his stuff. Mm-hmm. There are nuances to it. I mean, when he's Stingray in Cobra Kai, I mean, he's got that. I mean, his voice doesn't really change much, which is fine. This one, like, he's over cocky a little bit, he's just full of himself. In Blackbird, holy crap, I don't know what to believe. Like, I'm watching this and I'm wavering so much in everything that's coming across, and the way that they present the story really sucks you in, because you fall along into what the story wants you to. You know, it creates this doubt of like, and sureness too. Like, nope, absolutely, this is no, it's not. But wait, no, it's what the crap, and there is a moment too where in his eyes you see something different.
Man, he's talking about something. I think Taron replies with something, and he switches. You see it, like 100%. You see it. It's like, and I was just like, really? And then, no, and it's just the presence of evil seems to just spew out of him, and you're like, dude, like you said at the beginning, hand him all the awards, because those moments, shivers on the back of my neck and my arms. Like, dude.
Yeah, this is blown away by this series. I mean, I was hoping I would enjoy it, but I was not prepared for how much I enjoyed it. And it is dark. I mean, it's saddening too at the actual, because this is real people that we're talking about, and oh goodness. But yeah, it's everybody needs to see this. I wasn't completely
satisfied with the end, but I think that's because it's reality.
Oh, yes. No, I totally agree. Absolutely. There's you want something, and we just you have to kind of you walk away with what you get. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. And you're like, okay, but so good, so very good.
Goodness. All right. Wow. Okay. What else? What else you got on the list?
I want to mention quickly before I talk about the one I actually want to talk about, but A League of Their Own series.
Oh, yeah.
on Amazon. I've started watching it. I haven't finished it.
Okay.
What I've seen of it, I loved. I thought it was hilarious. Like, it's got some really good, tight dialogue with a score that is perfect for the time that it's set in, jazzy, that kind of, it kind of places you in the zone. All the actresses that play baseball players are believable in baseball, for one, but are also having very defined characters. Now, I haven't seen A League of Their Own movie in a long time, so I don't really have that to reflect on. But I know a lot of people had loads of reservations going into this, like, we don't need this because we've got a great... What I can see what they've done with this is they're really expanding the stories of those characters, so when we get to the baseball moments, we care about it. It's set, during the war when all the men were at war, so they needed to keep up the league, so someone had the great idea of getting women involved, but their idea of woman was woman in dressed perfectly, saying the perfect things, being still the housewives, but also playing baseball. But actual sportsmen, the ones that are good at often is not like that in reality. And so what they got, and so it almost derailed like straight off at the bat. I've already seen a lot of bigoted comments. This is woke. I've seen so many women kissing already on screen compared to the original, like that never happened. Guaranteed that happened. It's not they're not just showing it for the sake of showing it. They're showing reality, probably what needs to be okay. And the fact that you still have an issue with women kissing on screen shows why we need to show it. Right? It's actually what you're saying in the comments is proving the reason we need it. Because when it's not in the conversation and you're just talking about people in relationships being intimate with each other, then we're good. Anyway, that's Ruben's rant of the day. I think this is very, very well put together. It's acted phenomenally. It's well written. It's tight. Like it's tight scripting and dialogue, which I really appreciate. And it's filmed great. Like the baseball stuff was also really fun to watch. So,
oh wow.
I'm going to go back and watch the rest. I couldn't give a full review because I hadn't seen it.
Sure.
Okay, so for the one I actually wanted to talk about, I don't think you got to this. I don't know if you've seen season 2 yet. So, Dota, Dragon's Blood, Book 3. It's a new animated series based off the Dota universe. I think we have two camps here. People that play the game, that are just so happy to see their characters on screen, know that they're doing something a little bit different with the storyline, are also disappointed when they're not seeing the characters they want on screen because they've got their characters that they've built up over 2,000 hours of gameplay, and then they want to see those characters and they're not in the anime. Like, damn it, where's this character coming? I totally get it, but for the most part, from people that play the game, that watch the animation, are really enjoying it. And then those people are coming to it that haven't played the game, somewhat enjoying it, but some people think it's not very great. There's a really mixed bag, particularly this season, which is funny because this is my favorite season. One of the reasons for that, it's a multiverse storyline, the third season. And we're getting a lot of multiverse stuff at the moment that seems to be popular. Now, they didn't do multiverse because it's popular. It's because in the Dota canon, this is actually the story. There is this whole multiverse storyline. So I put that straight out there because I know some of the comments of people like, oh, they're just getting on the bandwagon of what's popular. Probably timing, maybe a little bit, but also it's part of the story. What I didn't expect from this season is, Chris, the first 2 episodes of this season wraps up like a massive arc from seasons 1 and 2. So they've been building up straight into it. Like there's almost no story. It's just action, 2. And I was like, whoa, this is rushing. Just go, what are they going to do with the rest? And then episode 3 to 8, multiverse. And so it's there's this thing that happens at the end of episode 2 that makes the multiverse story start. And then once you get to the 8th episode, you're not sure which world you like more and which characters you like more. They're the same characters, but they're different. And that puts a spin on it. I loved that idea. I thought that was really clever.
That sounds like fun. Yeah, I remember enjoying the first season, and then I fell off. I just didn't watch the second season. I did feel, if I'm remembering correctly, like it felt like I was only getting a glimpse of the story.
It's
Like there was
absolutely just the beginning of a massive universe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or multiverse. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that sounds fun too, where you, like, if I have spent all of this time with characters and now I get to see them in a different light, or I have different characters that are the same but different.
Yeah.
And it causes me to question which I like better.
Yeah.
That's
There's
fun.
literally a moment where a character has to choose to fix things. You know, like Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
To fix things, something, you've got to give up something. It's that. I'm like, I don't know what I would choose in that moment. Dang. Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Okay.
Really fun.
And the episodes, they're fairly short, aren't they? They're like...
Yeah, they're like 20, 25 minutes, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty short.
So quick binge. I mean, 8 episodes, you said?
Yeah, 8 episodes. Nice. Very easy to watch. You know, the fight sequences are great. When they go big, it's like, it's asteroid throwing big. You know, it's big. It's magics, people teleporting everywhere. You know, it's Power Rangers where somebody levels up and, you know, I get a few extra rings and now I'm super duper Dragon Ball Z Saiyan. You know, it's
nice,
big. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember enjoying the animation too, that I thought it looked good. So right on. Yeah. Okay. Well, if you've never started Dota, I mean, hey, you've got 3 full seasons now that you can binge and
really and
invested.
I believe there is a 4th season, but I don't necessarily think they need it. I think this trilogy could be fine. Okay. Probably what they're going to do is start a new storyline
to focus on different characters. That
it feels like it's wrapped up this particular story. So yeah.
Well, that's good. Okay. Cool. Well, I think that makes it even better that you kind of, you know what? Hey, we've reached a conclusion that feels good. Okay. Yeah. Outstanding. Well, anything else on your list?
I've got other things to talk about. What's on your list? Are you done?
No, I'm done. Yeah, I mean, there's other things I could chat about, but
okay. I want to chat about one thing. It's not actually on my list. It's not on the best things list. But you gave it a 4-star, and I want to know what you're smoking, Chris. What is going? You were not allowed to give things a pass just because it had some fun sequences in it, Chris.
But see, if I enjoyed it, if I had fun with it,
did you enjoy the whole thing? Really?
Yeah. Other than some of the down. I mean, okay.
Should we let the people know what we're talking about?
Day Shift on Netflix. Okay. Now, I said this in my review. The story is poo. Okay. The story is thin. It is predictable, and it's the villains are uninteresting. Like, I don't even care what their impetus is because we're not really given any of that. I mean, I said, you know, the Pinky and the Brain trying to take over the world. That's basically what it is, you know?
Yeah.
But Dave Franco, Jamie Foxx together, separate even.
Absolutely. I give that to you. Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with that. I thought the action pieces were outstanding. I mean, I loved the camera work, where you and the horrifying body movements that some of these vampires make.
The first fight was phenomenal. Like, that was so good. But Chris, there's so many buts. The lore is all over the place. Like, they establish some stuff and then they're just like, meh.
Well, what? Because I thought they stuck to all of the things that they establish.
Okay, well, let's just go to like the logic things of the first fight that he does. Right, he's fighting.
Yes.
This woman. It's during the day. He's fighting her in the lounge. There's a curtain there. What do you do? But
it's still pretty dark in that room.
Yeah, but if he'd opened the curtains, she would have been burning from fire. Like, the whole time he's just using, like, that's the first thing as a vampire hunter I would do is open the curtains. Like, that's
okay, well,
that's just classic vampire stuff. But then it's like they have different levels of the fire. The daylight hurts me sometimes, and then daylight, I know they're like, some of them have skin products and she's developing something that is gonna allow them to be out. But later on, we have Snoop Dogg with ultraviolet weapons. Like, he just did the little hold down the why isn't that on all the time on your torch? If that's
I didn't understand that either. Yeah.
Yeah, like they also how Okay, I'm going to go into spoilers. No, it's fine. I won't go into spoilers. There were just so many moments I just like, no.
No, huh? Oh my gosh. Okay.
I just didn't buy it. I didn't believe it.
The house fight, well, I mean, you have to suspend disbelief here on massive levels, but
I mean, it is a vampire film, yeah.
Right? But the house fight where Dave Franco, Jamie Foxx, and the two brothers.
That is the best scene in the movie, for sure.
I literally laughed out loud when first off, the brothers refer to each other as bro, all the time. And it's just, it's cringing, it's terrible, and I loved it. But then the way that they pass ammunition back and forth, I thought was really great until we get to the one point, and my son was watching it with me.
Before you say the one part that I think you're going to say, let me put into perspective. The man that's doing this is Scott Adkins. If anyone can do it, he can. The guy's a legendary master in martial arts and action films. Okay, go.
I like that there was a realism that they run out of ammunition. Okay, yeah. I appreciated that as they're firing things, and so they run out different times, and they exchange clips in unique ways and everything like that, and they switch off weapons, and a lot of fun, a lot of carnage, just everything's going on. There is one point though where he is out of ammunition, and he's like, bro, give me a round. Yeah, bro, give me a round.
Bro.
And the way that he passes a single bullet from one bro to the next is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I mean, it
absolutely would work though.
Totally. I mean, last week, at least as of this recording, last week Carter came out on Netflix, and that is off the charts, balls to the wall, just extreme and insane action, which most of it is highly unbelievable, and yet I was still riveted. Yeah. This also, I mean, when this happened, when they passed that bullet, I mean, this surpassed moments in Carter, where it was just like, come on, and I'm loving it. I mean, we laughed out loud at the ridiculousness that it was there, and you're like, dude, you went for it. You know what I mean? Somebody actually thought, what if we did this? And then they did it. It just
I love Scott Adkins in anything, and the way he did I guarantee he probably choreographed that whole scene that with the martial arts and the shooting. I do want to talk about the bullets. I don't understand. When did they establish? They established later that Snoop's bullets are, well, he mentioned, silver tipped. Why are they killing each other with silver tipped bullets? So I guess silver tipped bullets hurt vampires, but it seems like they were shooting each other earlier in the early parts of the movie just with normal bullets. It's like, why? It doesn't seem like that would be hurting them. Why is that?
No, it was wood and something else. The bullets
Jamie Foxx was filling up his bullets with little pellets, and then he was putting in.
Well, even outside of the shotgun shells, even the bullet themselves was made out of wood and something else.
I must have missed that.
They focused on it, and he even made a mention of it, but I don't remember what the metal type was, but it was something like that.
Okay. I was just like, why are they getting hurt from bullets? It seemed like normal bullets. I was like, okay, so the vampires are super strong. They're super fast. Why don't they use their speed? I don't get it. Are some vampires fast and some vampires not fast?
I think your younger ones, the juvies that they called them, haven't discovered how to use that. You know what I mean? They're just they're just starting out, and so they're they're just not able to harness their skill yet.
I think I've figured out what irritated me. The moments that worked for me in this film was when they weren't taking themselves seriously. When Dave Franco and Jamie Foxx were bantering together, they were the best. I think there were moments with Jamie Foxx's character where the film was being serious. And it's like, I don't think this film needs to be serious. There's Snoop Dogg holding a Gatling gun. This is not a serious film. And I think when for me, it didn't know what it wanted to be in parts, so...
No,
maybe I
totally
need to go back and watch it again and understand what it is, because the audience scores are like 86% and the critic scores are like 42%. I'm like, I don't want to agree with the critics. I never agree with the critics.
Yeah, this one is where I'm at with the audience, because it was, I mean, I do believe the weakest portions of the film are when the action isn't going on, when they're trying to be more serious and there's not the witty comedy within there. Because I just really wasn't
I'm
caring
not there for that.
very much.
Yeah.
No. And the whole, I know that you have to have the bad guy and that they have to do something. Okay, so you've got this little MacGuffin there that even though it doesn't come until the end.
Character reactions I just didn't believe, like the daughter being suddenly she's aware that she's in a car chase, but before that she's playing Mario Kart and she goes down like a massive hill and she's like, wee, like seriously, she doesn't know she's going down that. Okay, fine, we'll give her that one. And then later someone pulls out the gun, she goes and kind of bends down, but I was like, has she been in a gun chase before? Is this the norm for her? It was such a weird reaction. I did. There were moments like that with other characters that I didn't get. Also, he's an adamant vampire hunter that like thinks they're all evil. He's going to kill them all. But somehow, when his friend becomes something, I guess we're getting to spoilers now. Somehow, when he encounters certain other vampires, he befriends them. I was like, that changed very quickly. Like, he went from, I trust you, even though you say, I know what you are, but I trust you. There's never, ever been any good vampires, but now I trust you.
I think because, he doesn't go, when he talks with one of them, he doesn't go in believing them, right? Or even thinking good things. I mean, he goes in because he's pissed. And he goes in because he wants to kill. And then as their interactions are happening, he has an opportunity to hear some. And so that's what I took, that's where his shift happens a little bit, especially because he already has this heart moment with another character that that you see it affects him, even though there's not a lot of build up and not a lot of establishing things. But I think it just showed that his character has somewhat of a heart, that he is affected by certain things, and that I kind of looked at him like as an everyman. He's just put into an extreme situation because he's trying to get this money in a very short period of time, and so he's willing to overlook things. He's willing to take more risks or anything else because he has this one goal. Normally, he wouldn't be that way. Normally, he would be very calculated, very,
Yeah. I can see that. I think I also would have liked Jamie Foxx to be not Jamie Foxx. Like, I've seen him be a similar character for quite a few films. There was that one Netflix film. He seemed like a very similar character to this.
The one with
I see
the power?
Jamie Foxx. Yeah, I see Jamie Foxx, not the actor he's portraying, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like so I could see Jamie Foxx as the dad for sure. He's Jamie Foxx the dad, Jamie Foxx the vampire hunter.
Yeah.
But I was just hoping for something different. You've seen him play the jazz player.
Ray.
Yeah, Ray. Phenomenal. Yeah. Different. It's not that movie, but maybe I was expecting too much from this movie. I went in with different expectations.
That could be, and I could see how that would change. I mean, because if you go in thinking that this is a anything other than just a mindless action comedy, that happens to have vampires, then it can be disappointing. And think about too, like going back to your comment about Jamie Foxx, like you seeing Jamie Foxx in the role, that was the same with Dave Franco, with Snoop.
Yeah.
With all of them, I didn't
absolutely.
actually see characters,
Yeah.
So I get that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. It's not Blade. It's not like Blade with witty humor.
No. This is forgettable.
Although that's still funny.
Well, sure. I don't know. I mean, to go back to your original question, why, I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. What in the world was going on with me?
Chris?
Yeah, and because it was just fun. That's really what it was. You know what I mean? Like, this is not perfect. This actually has a lot of things wrong with it, but yet I had a blast while I was watching it. And that's
Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. If you enjoyed it, then it just depends on how much you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, I watch this again, not often. I can see myself putting it on every now and then as a casual watch. You know what I mean? Like I can then look up and go, oh, okay, I love this action scene.
On and skip to the action scenes. I think.
Yeah.
I could enjoy that. That's quite fun.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think this would have been a good TV series.
Oh, yeah. That could, and I could see them doing like a little spinoff. Which that might be fun. A little limited series or something.
Up the law that there's this whole, what do they call it? The office area.
The union.
The union, yeah. They've said that exists around the world, so you totally could.
Yeah.
I'd watch it if Franco's in it.
Totally.
Because he was great. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Right. So, spoilers. Yeah. See, it just suddenly pops into my mind.
Yeah.
Dude is an office dude all round, right?
Yes.
Knew nothing about guns or anything.
Yes.
Something happens to him, then he knows martial arts and parkour like the best in the world. What?
Well, he's got super strength now.
That doesn't matter how strong you are. He was like martial arting and running up the walls and...
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe
the way I accounted for is he got bitten by
somebody that knew that,
and so maybe that imparted the information through the bloodline. I guess that's how we explain that.
I'll go with that.
Do we need to explain things like that in movies like this? I don't know. Probably not.
No.
Probably not. It's okay. Grumpy Ruben's going away now.
Well, at some point, give it another watch with a different mindset, knowing that it's like not campy B movie, but it's just action comedy that's mindless and you know what I mean. And you're watching it because you want some laughs and you want some just crazy moves.
Yeah.
There you go.
Did you want to talk about Fall at all?
We can, yeah, dude.
I don't like the ending. That's all I wanted to talk about.
The resolution of it, of how it. Yeah, okay.
It's like we built up, the audience earns the movie, and then they don't show us the fruition. And I just thought that was cheap. Yeah.
Well, and that's how the beginning is too.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It and I had said like in my review that the writers like basically just gave themselves an out. We don't have to figure out how to
get out of jail free card.
Solve this problem. Yeah, we'll just fade to black and all is good. Yeah, I mean, this movie had no business being as tense as it was. I mean, it was.
I think it was filmed well to make it tense with the music and the shots they used. That was good, and the setting, Australia, tall tower, no one's around. You get that kind of 137 hours vibe, or was it 37 meters deep down?
47 meters down.
47
meters.
I think it's even from the producers of this film, so
it could be.
Yeah. However, the climbing at the beginning of the film, as a climber in my young self, Chris, when I did some climbing, the weight distribution was so off. Like they were just hanging, and it was cool. Like there was no actual pressure in the legs. Not all the time, but there was just some shots that I was just like, "You're not a climber. You're a pretty lady, so maybe that's why they cast you." And then the whole TikTok thing I thought was pretty real for today's generation. I'm going to climb this tower to get the
likes.
Clicks, the numbers, the likes. I actually, at the beginning of my review, I showed a clip of one of these young guys, they climb up, it was in London, they climbed up a really tall building and tower, and they get to the rooftop, and then they hang off the edge, no rope, no nothing, with one arm, because it gives them an adrenaline rush. And that's the sort of character I conveyed with one of the characters here. But when I walking up to a rusty tower, that is no part of me says that's a good idea. I was like, you seem like smart ladies, but now I don't think you are, because your logic brain should say, even if it's like, I'm conquering fear, go conquer fear on a mountain with some ropes, not this thing.
Yeah, but you figure at the very beginning, the blonde hunter is shown as a free climber. You know,
Which true.
No, that
free climb is also asking for trouble.
I don't even like to. I don't understand climbing, and I'm glad that people enjoy that and they find that to be exhilarating. That is not me by any means. But
one of the best films I saw on free climbing is called Solo. Incredible.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah,
harrowing film about an autistic dude that is a free climber, and he lives in his little camper van. Has an on and off relationship that is strained because of him doing free climbing, which you can understand.
Yeah,
massive. Some of the hardest in the world. Free climbing it. I won't tell you what happens.
I don't see. I just don't understand that.
I'm joking.
Wow, that got dark. And Chris is laughing. So,
but yeah, vertical limit cliffhanger kind of intro to this film.
Yeah,
I thought the majority of it was fine. I didn't think the acting was anything good. I just thought it was fine.
No, it was all the locale. I mean, it was all the way that they did the shots and the. I'm glad that it was compressed enough also that like you keep it moving, you know what I mean? Like just gosh, okay. Oh gosh. I was literally, I found myself like crunched in a little bit and my palms were truly sweaty as I'm watching, and it made me laugh at myself because I'm like, seriously, I thought this was just gonna be a stupid movie, and here I am like,
you see, but that's what makes the ending so much worse.
Oh my gosh.
I don't get it. You make a sister of that and there's no payoff.
It was really rude. It really was, and it was lazy. I mean, that's my big disappointment in the film is that you just take an easy way out.
This would have been a go back to like vertical limit or cliffhanger had they stuck the landing. There just is no landing. They didn't record it.
No, yeah. To be fair, the batteries ran out, so
and Jeffrey Dean Morgan is massively underutilized in this film,
dude. Well, that's
why even have him in this movie. There's no point.
Him and even Mason Gooding, who come on, truly these two characters were throwaway. I mean, they could have been by anybody, from anybody. I mean, I understand you get Jeffrey Dean Morgan because he has star power. Okay, that's good. But if I went into the movie because I wanted to see him, that doesn't make me happy at all.
Yeah, because he's in like the poster, and it's like, come on, he's a legendary actor. He's awesome, got amazing presence. Give him something to do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A twist would have been him getting there and climbing up to go and help. That would have been great.
Us being shown that he is a climber also. And
Yeah. Anyways, I don't think I should talk about it anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go. We're running a little bit long again today.
Well, that's okay. We had a lot to talk about, but hey, we thank you for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe. Ruben with the Ruby Tuesday. Me, Chris, with Movies and Munchies. You can always tweet at us at Best We Watched. If you want more of this ridiculousness, then just click in the description below for the podcast area, which is audio only. And so you get an extended part of that where we talk about news of the week and also things that we are looking forward to that are coming up in the following week. So if you want to get some insight into that as well, we have a Patreon opportunity at patreon.com/thebeardedones. There are a lot of videos in there that we would just, there's new content all the time. So if you were to join today, you would be met with more than 5 videos right off the bat that you could enjoy.
At least 23.
The number seems to fluctuate.
It did. It fluctuates from week to week.
Oh, but hey, no, we just keep putting stuff in there because we love it, and we hope that you might consider supporting us in that way. With that though, we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining. Take care.